Hello everyone, my name is Joe Killinger and welcome to my channel where we will discuss business, entrepreneurship, and real estate. And if you do like what you see, make sure you subscribe and let's get into the videos. All right, well, thank you for tuning in. We've got a great topic today, how to become and dominate in commercial real estate as an agent. It's a tough industry. If you think you're going to get into this industry and really just start making millions of dollars, unless your family's in the business or you've got some incredible connections, that's probably not going to be the case. You're going to have to really figure out how to set yourself apart. And you know the number one complaint that we get in this industry about commercial real estate agents? They don't call back. A simple callback. I mean, you've got to really assess your competition. Really come into this industry with the right mindset. And as you're out there marketing yourself, talking to people, make sure you are the person that brings value to every conversation. Be it if you're going to put a piece out of marketing, you're out networking, it's all got to come back to your bringing value. That's going to get people that want to hear from you. So let's just jump right in and give you some of these topics. I'm going to go through several topics, so if you've got a pen, let's write these down. I'm going to save some for the toward the end, so because I think the last one is probably the most key. So make sure you're using a good CRM before you even get started. You're getting your license, you're taking your test. Get a good CRM that's out there. There's even free ones that you can use. So make sure that you get that, start populating with all of your contacts, because as soon as you can, I'm going to touch on a little bit later, is you want to start a great email program and you want to capture as many contacts as you can. When you get licensed, you get started, you're going to want to utilize your sphere of influence. Everybody that you've known all your life should be in your CRM by now. Make sure that you reach out to them and let them know what you're doing, and then create an email program for them, of which you're probably going to want to do an email to them about every 2 weeks. And again, it needs to bring value. Now, the one that is hard for everybody, and something that these days I still struggle with, and that's cold calling. You've got to do cold calling. And depending on your asset class, you need to really focus on an area and really have that cold calling, maybe doing 50 to 100 phone calls a day, depending on how good you are. There's tons of scripts out there. Make sure you find a script that fits your personality and you feel comfortable utilizing this tool. Now, when you get the script that you want, personalize it. Make it fit your personality. Don't verbatim be reading it. Make sure you have this script down and it works perfect for you. Marketing on social, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok even. TikTok is becoming a powerful tool. Make sure you're putting content out at least a couple times a week. You don't need to live on it. You need to be putting content out regularly, though, and it needs to be branded toward the brand that you want people to see you as. And make sure that every post, or almost every post, is geared to that branding and to bringing value to your community. Networking, make sure you're meeting as many people as you can. Make sure you're out there meeting people in your community. And when I say in your community, if you're working a certain area, let's use West Hollywood, for example. We just had an agent that was working West Hollywood, and he's struggling with finding a tenant for a retail listing that he has. And I just suggested call the Chamber of Commerce there. Call the city council member that works over there. And he did, and they gave him some great contacts. So make sure you capture those. I mean, and you've got to capture those emails. Capture as many emails from those people as you can too. Make sure they're part of your email programs. So now if you're in retail, and this is something that a lot of people do not do, retail, you do a block program, meaning that you pick a block or two. Well, you want to figure about an hour in the beginning, and you create a great marketing piece with your branding. And you start going out from location, store to store to store to store. You walk in, you meet the people that are in charge, you introduce yourself, you create a leave behind. You tell them about what's going on in their marketplace, what's going on in that community. Again, bringing value. So talk to them about what's going on in their marketplace, see if they have heard of anything. You do that every 2 weeks for a couple of months, and then keep going down the street, then add another hour's worth of walking in and talking to people. After a year or so of this, you're going to have a good chunk of that community, and you're going to know everything going on in that community. Now, I suggest that after a couple of weeks, probably after your first month, you start calling on the landlords that own properties in there, because you're going to have so much information from these retailers that you can now utilize this and bring value to the landlord. So make sure that you're really doing as much as you can in the communities that you're working. One that I've found that is extremely important, and that's writing an article. It can really make you seem like you're the go-to person in that community. Write about your community, write about the asset class that you're working in that community, find about local events, anything going on in your community, put it up on a blog post, drive people to that blog post. Very important. But that also takes me back to branding. Branding is, I can't touch on this enough. You really want to create your brand. That'll set yourself apart. Now, some of the bigger firms won't really allow you to do this on your own, but if you're in a small boutique firm, they should probably allow you to go ahead and even create your own website, but make sure your branding is on point and you're consistent with it all the time. All right, so consistency, I just touched on it. I think it's very important that you do stay consistent with your timing on getting your content out. If you're going to do Instagram twice a week, make sure that you do it at the same time or pretty close to the same time every week. People will get to where they're relying on that content then, especially if you're bringing great value. If you're going to post an article, make sure that's done about the same time every time. People will start expecting that content on those times. So make sure that it's scheduled and make sure you're consistent on getting this out. It will drive more people to want to follow you. But here's one thing that I really see with a problem with commercial agents is, you get into the business, you get excited about doing your first deal, and then you get your first deal going and you're very focused on it and you forget about doing business development. You've got to stay on business development. You've got to every day do your calls, every day do work on your CRM, every day work on your content. You cannot just focus on, I've got this great buyer, I need to find them something right away. That buyer could go away and you're sitting there with nothing. So make sure you're focused on business development every day. Have an asset class that you really focus on. Now, some of the bigger firms are going to tell you that you need to do just one asset class. I don't believe in that. I think that you should have an asset class. And I mean, we're just coming out of a pandemic, right? If you were focused on just office or just retail over the last year, you probably didn't have any business. It'd be very hard to get business when nobody was going into offices, nobody was going into shopping. However, if that was your focus before the pandemic, yet you knew how to do a multifamily deal and you could have focused on multifamily or triple net sales around the country, you probably would have been okay. So I'm a firm believer in diversification. Make sure you have an asset class that you're focused on, but know how to do something else so you don't get left behind. And I would say the number one thing that everybody needs to do is you need to get involved with your community. If you come into the office at 8:30 every day, leave at 5:30, and you're not involved in your community, you're probably not going to grow your business. That's why the block program is so key to what you're doing. Networking and getting to know other brokers, landlords, tenants, you've got to make sure you're out in your community. You've got to know everybody out there. So, all right, well, there's a lot here. And so if you want to talk about it, I'm happy to talk to you about it. You can either DM me on YouTube or Instagram, wherever it is, and let's talk about your career, what you're really thinking about. Love to talk to you. And if you haven't done so, make sure you do like this video and subscribe.